my name's Ekim and I'm a stateless traveler. This is the first episode of the Seven Continents Challenge and it's starting out in Georgia, baby. But I do have to say that the trip didn't start off as smoothly as I'd liked. In Kazakhstan, they wouldn't let me leave because I didn't have a visa. The thing is, prior to this, I did tons of research, and Georgia is the only country in the world which allows visa-free entry for stateless people. I contacted Georgian border control and I contacted the embassy and they said I was good to go. But I had spent a total of about an hour talking to the lady at the passport control desk, as this was probably the first time she's ever encountered a stateless document. I could see it in her eyes, she was baffled by it and she had to contact her superiors to actually get to the bottom of it if she was going to let me allow to leave Kazakhstan. In the end, it was my lucky day. They let me through. The thing is, they were really worried that I was going to complain that they were going to let me through and file a complaint because they thought that the Georgian side wasn't going to let me in while using this document. So the only thing they wanted to make sure is that I'm certain about what I'm doing and that I won't be filing a complaint against the Kazakhstani border patrol. To make matters worse, I was traveling with my wife and the newborn. This was another first for me, as traveling with a newborn has its own difficulties. My wife and child had gone through pretty easily, but you can imagine the stress that they'd gone through while waiting for me, because I wasn't sure if they were going to let me in. This was, as I mentioned, probably the first time that I ever met a document like this. As we were landing, the first thing we noticed was the beautiful coastline. It looked just magnificent and the weather was great. Walking out of the airport, you could feel the humidity, the subtropical climate of Batumi. But we still had one more challenge ahead of us, which was the Georgian border patrol. Me, my wife, my son, we were all probably pretty worried, to say the least, but we had a plan. My wife gave me my newborn and she said there's no way they won't let you through if you're with a cute baby like him. So alright, I just said, let's do it. I took my baby son, we walked up to passport control. The lady looked at him, smiled and just let me through without any problems at all. And there we are, we're in Batumi. As we were going into town, the first thing I noticed was the traffic. The traffic was chaotic, to say the least, and construction everywhere, buildings on top of other buildings, and it's just all mad, to say the least. After we'd settled in, we found Batumi extremely beautiful. The beaches, the boardwalk, the botanical garden, the dogs, the cats that are just roaming the streets, all make the city feel alive. Also, their seafood and coffee are just incredible. As a coffee snob myself, I do have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed some of the coffee shops in Batumi. A quick guide to Batumi. We highly recommend that you visit the Botanical Garden and the Gonya Fortress. These two are a must. If you're into going for light strolls, then the Batumi Boardwalk is a great place. Now, if you're a coffee snob like me, I highly recommend you visit Green Jean Coffee or Nordic Coffee or Urban Roasters. These are some great coffee shops that I found, especially if you enjoy pour-overs or specialty coffee. Some places to stay away from are Orbi City. Orbi City is an apartment complex where there are literally thousands of small apartments. From what I've heard from the locals, during peak season, it's packed and sometimes you have to wait for the elevator up to an hour, which is just crazy. Another place you should definitely stay away from is Magnolia. It's a building built somewhere in the 2000s. which was supposed to be a luxury apartment complex and turned out to be almost abandoned. Although there are still flats in there, the whole building is dilapidated, and um, you know, I saw some flats on Airbnb, and they were hiding the fact that they were in Magnolia. So definitely be careful, because in real life the building just looks awful. And now we go to Tbilisi. We decided to go to Tbilisi by train, which was pretty convenient, and it took us about 5 hours. As we were entering Tbilisi, we saw that the city was filled with beautiful places. But as we were getting closer to our Airbnb, I think we started to understand that we should have done a bit more research. Our Airbnb was disappointing, to say the least. As we entered our Airbnb, it turned out to be completely different from what we'd anticipated. It was a cramped place, basically built like a garage, with no lighting, nothing of the sort. Whilst on the photos in the app, it looked like a pretty good place, which seemed to be conveniently located. Our trip started off on the wrong foot, as same day we had to look for a new apartment, and during the next day we moved out and basically lost a day in Tbilisi. But you know, it is what it is. You've just got to move on. And you know what? Tbilisi was really charming. The old buildings, the narrow streets, the bazaars, the locals. We had a great time in Tbilisi. A quick guide to Tbilisi. I highly recommend that you try and stay in Old Town, but only if you're ready to walk up hills, as the whole of Old Town is located on a hill. I recommend that you visit the Tbilisi Botanical Garden. I do have to say, if you go to Batumi first, you might find this one a bit more disappointing. Also, Tbilisi is filled with the best pastries we've ever had were in Tbilisi. As a coffee snob, I had anticipated a bit more from Tbilisi. I had loads of coffee shops in my list, but unfortunately, most of them disappointed. The only one I'd sort of recommend is Shavi, and yeah, that's kind of it. All the other ones just were subpar, to be honest with you. Also in Tbilisi, I was fortunate enough to attend a rugby event. Rugby in Georgia, for those who don't know, is actually pretty good. As a big rugby fan myself, I thoroughly enjoyed going to I believe it's called the Gigi 10 or the GG 10. It's like the local tournament, club tournament, semi-professional teams. The match was great. The atmosphere, the people I'd met there, the weather that day, it was just so dramatic because it came down to the wire, and the last try in a couple of minutes of the game had sealed the deal, because we thought that team was losing, and last minute try, yeah, it was just amazing. On our way back, we were now flying out of Tbilisi. To be honest with you, it was a mix of emotions. We had some bumps in our road, from the traffic in Batumi to the Airbnb in Tbilisi. But even with that, that was just a small part of our whole experience in Georgia. I just have to say that Georgia is filled with kindness. Georgia was unforgettable. From the beautiful scenery and nature in Batumi to the historic places in Tbilisi, the whole country is filled with amazing places, and we'd love to return one day soon. And I think we've all got something to learn from the Georgians. To stop seeing people as some nationality in a passport, we should just start seeing people as people. If you liked this video, subscribe, comment, like, as this helps out the YouTube algorithm, and it really helps me in my journey to travel to all 7 continents. From this point, the content's only gonna get better and better. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.